no matter how much we do at this time of year, it always seems to generate another job. Now, I've just been cutting this buddleia down just to control it, and I was going to leave these lovely rose hips for the birds. However, what I've found is down inside here there is a bramble growing from somewhere which I've got to find the root of and get rid of. So I'm actually going to be taking this back as well now so that I can get in there. It's a pretty good time of year to be doing this anyway. But I'm going to have a lot to do here. So we'll get on with today's little show. But before I go around the back and get a couple of bits done there, and also I'm going to do a little bit of before and after with you and show you what the garden was like and what it is like now. I have got my spring bulbs, my daffodils, and I'll just put some of those in and show you how I do that into this front garden. So without further ado, welcome to November in a year gardening. Well, I've got this bag of mixed narcissi daffodils, and I want to work out roughly how they're going to go into the border here. I want this to be fairly loose, but also to have enough flowers to really put on a nice display. They all feel nice and firm, so that should just be enough for this little border here. So what I'll do, take my bulb planter. You may remember this from when I did it over on the other side for the daffodils that grow underneath the shrubs. And all we do is we'll wind that into the ground, remembering that I want to be at least twice the depth of the bulb. String to the bottom, point to the top, pop that into the bottom of the hole, and then pop the plug back in on top, and it is as simple as that. And we're going to then have a lovely display March time of mixed daffodils and narcissi coming through in these borders, which I'm really looking forward to. You may remember in the summer when I was planting sunflowers here, I had to use a pickaxe on this ground. It was so dry and solid. Now it's moist, it's been dug, and this just pops through. It's absolutely beautiful, and this is what it should have been like all year. But suffice to say, it was a difficult summer for these plants. Hopefully we will have a better year next year. Whilst I'm here, actually, I will show you my dahlias, which I thought were dead, but they're actually putting on a lovely late display. Well, at this time of year, I would have expected these to all have finished and to be lifting them now, but there's plenty of beautiful flowers on here, and we're going to be cutting some more of these to put inside later on. They're giving us a really lovely late show. Very, very pleased with that. Won't be long though, we'll get the frost. I'll have to lift them, dry those tubers for next year. Right, on we go. Well, that's the bulbs planted in these two borders. The other two borders here, I'm going to be planting a mixture of daffodil and tulips, which will be a bit of later colour for May, and they will go in over the next couple of weeks. I like to get my tulips in late when I'm planting them in the ground. Ones in pots are already planted in the pots, and I did those last week. So let's take a little trip down the back garden now, and we'll have a look at some tidying there. Well, it's back garden time, and tomorrow is Halloween, and that's where we invite some of the local children from the road and their parents to join us in an open garden for some sweets and some coffee and things, and we decorate the garden to a spooky garden. So I'm going to get the garden ready for that now, and then I'll share some of that with you. Well, the garden is really taking shape for Halloween. Butler's ready to serve his sweets, and the table is getting ready for the young people to arrive. This is the entrance to the garden, and this is what they are going to see. Okay, it will look a little bit different when it's darker, as you'll see. Now, Julie's dressed up as the witch, and myself, well, I'm the Phantom, and my daughter is also another witch. So I've got a graveyard prepared this time, and I've got some spooky birds in cages. So the garden is getting ready. What we really need are the little people to arrive. Some of the animated toys will, I'm sure, give them a little bit of a spook. So the garden is ready and the guests are arriving, and I'm sure they're going to have a fantastic evening. We've got a little bit of a barbecue going as well, so we'll have some burgers and sausages and things, and we've got a table laid out of goodies. Happy Halloween. Well, Halloween was great fun, and we had a lovely evening with the local children, but the work still carries on. Now this Fatina, it's getting quite tall, and we've got some wind due over the next couple of days. I don't want to risk it getting damaged, so I'm just going to take it down. I've got some nice branches here, so I'm just going to take this one out, and I'm going to take it at a slight angle across the top. There. So the end is cut at an angle like this, so that when the rain comes down, it will just fall off and it won't damage into the plant. I'm going to take another couple just off the top here, just to bring it down, and this will control the height for next year, which is what I'm actually trying to look at, getting a nice shape and form to the plant. Whilst I'm here, also, this verbena is now coming to an end, so I think we'll just cut that down now. It's going to be quite, I let it get rather large. It's been absolutely beautiful for the year. The colours have been superb. The pollinators have absolutely loved being on here, but it's time for it to go, along with a lot of the things in the garden. Unfortunately, we've got to just tidy now, clean and tidy, and so I'll just keep taking this down for the next 5 minutes or so. This is going to just open the area up, let me get in, clear some of the weeds that have come through here. I don't know why it is that when we want our plants to grow, the ones that grow best are the weeds. But never mind, this will all be sorted. The whole thing will look absolutely gorgeous and wonderful. Now, I did promise you that I would share some pictures of how we started and where we've got to, and I think now is a good time to do a little bit of revisiting. As I look back, I thought I'd start with where we got the summer house, and this area was just a little bit rough and dead conifers and things in it, but we had the work done, we cleared the area, and now we've got a rather splendid summer house in that same place. We'll now look at the patio. It was a little bit unsafe, to say the least. There was a load of bricks buried in the garden, and everything just needed a little bit of work and tidying up. We were very fortunate. We met a lovely guy called Neil who came in and did an absolutely fantastic job on rebuilding the patio area, rebuilding the steps, laying down some beautiful stone and giving us the wonderful patio that we have today. Well, then it was time to start building the greenhouse and the shed. It took a little bit of time to get this all together, but gradually they grew nicely so that I can grow things inside. The base for the shed was laid, and then the shed was gradually built on top of that. It took a little bit of time for me to do this, but it was all worthwhile. Beautiful. Well, that covers some of the early days of the garden and the construction of a few of the buildings and the patio that formed the outline for the main garden. And in the next show, I'll go over the changes in the planting and how the garden has developed over the last 3 years or so. So it is that time now where evenings are a lot longer than days, and well, it got dark today at around about 5:30. We just had a bit of a rain shower, and yeah, glad that I'd finished gardening before that came down. So I've still got a lot of tidying to do, but over the next few months I'm going to be replacing the roller screen on the polytunnel with a fixed door. I'm going to be digging out the new pond, and come March, when we come back with our next real updates, we'll have some good footage to share with you of those little projects. In the next show, as I say, we'll cover the development of the garden over the last few years, and we'll also have a little review of what we've done in the year 2022. I can't believe it, but this is actually our 70th gardening show that we put out as a year gardening. 70 programs with what I hope have been some useful hints and tips for you that you share in your gardens as well. I'm looking forward to a little break from filming, and I'm sure that my colleagues are looking forward to the same. And we'll be back with you after our end of year show in March of 2023, God willing. So for now, from a year gardening, may I just say, stay safe, keep well, be kind to each other, and happy gardening. I'll leave you today with a rather pleasant little Shiraz. Cheers.